Boss, good morning, everybody. We're excited about getting back home and playing a tough Pitt team. Hard to believe this is Thanksgiving. It's crazy. So happy Thanksgiving, everyone out there. Unbelievable that we've the season has gone by. Seems really fast, and especially for our seniors. So senior day for us. Always a special day in our program, and really proud of this senior group. Amazing what they've been able to accomplish in their 4 and 5 years here. So, and I'm sure we'll have a couple juniors that will not be back as well. So, several guys playing their last game here at home, and excited for them. This senior class has a chance to be the first undefeated class ever here at Clemson. So, pretty unique opportunity for them. And then Military Appreciation Day, always a really special day here at Clemson. I don't think anybody does it better. We have a great military heritage here and a lot of tradition when it comes to that. We have a ton of players whose families are involved or have been involved in the military. So just a great day, really looking forward to it. Our crowd will be excited, 3:30 game, and, ready to see the Tigers play. But Pitt's a good football team. They were a lot of people had them ranked really high early in the season, and when you watch them, you see why. They're 5-4, but they easily are 7-2 team, 8-1 team. Had 2 one-point losses. One of them really literally just kind of a fluky deal, but they're first in the country in tackles for loss. They're second in the country in sacks. A fun team to watch on tape, to be honest with you, because they really play the game the way I think it should be played. Physical, tough, great effort, aggressiveness. That's how they play, and I think that's a reflection of Pat. Man, he does a great job with them and getting them ready, and I know we'll have our hands full with this group. Defensive line-wise, they're really good. This is 2 of the best defensive ends we'll see all year. Twitchy, quick guys inside, challenge you on the back 7. I mean, they're in your face. A lot of tight coverage. Always are going to have somebody. They're built to stop the run. They're always going to outnumber you. So you got to be creative with your run game, and you got to make plays. You got to make some competitive plays because otherwise you're gonna have a long day. But they do a really good job, well coached, really understand their scheme, and like I said, they play with an effort that, as a coach, I got a lot of respect for. So offensively for them, everything starts with their quarterback. Pickett's a really good player. He's a veteran guy. He's savvy. Really understands what they're doing. They're a very different Pitt team that came in here back in 2016. They're 11 personnel, 10 personnel. They're throwing it all over the park, putting the ball in this quarterback's hands and running it just enough to keep you honest and make you have to defend the run. But they're throwing the football, throwing the ball down the field, deep posts, deep crossers, climb routes, a lot of quick game, a lot of screens built into it. But it all starts with this quarterback. He's a really good player. Really like his game a lot. He's a good runner. A lot of their biggest plays have come off of scrambles where he's extended plays. So, again, really impressed with him. And then probably the fastest team we've played from a tempo standpoint. I mean, you see some of these games that they've played, guys are wide open because of their tempo and especially in some of their empty packages and things where teams aren't lined up properly. And guys get turned loose, but we've got to do a great job from a communication standpoint defensively. Get our tails lined up, and get our cleats in the ground and be ready to go. Really good receivers, probably the deepest receiver group we've played. They had the backup in the slot last week. I think he had 15 catches or something. So number 3 is a great player. I know he didn't play last week, but big guys outside, throw a lot of back shoulder balls, deep shots, like I said, and present a lot of challenges. But we're excited about it. Looking forward to getting on the field and having a great senior day, great military appreciation day, and playing some Clemson football. With that, I'll take your questions.
Dabo, it's Andrea Adelson with ESPN. You were on the ACC coaches coronavirus subcommittee back in August. I'm just curious if there were concerns about a situation like what unfolded this past weekend. What happened based on the protocols that were put in place, and if there's anything that can be done to avoid another situation like this from happening.
You have to take that up with the league. I know what the rules are. I know what they were. And I know we met the standard to play this past week, and we didn't play. So we've played we've played 8 games, so we haven't had any issues all year. And all of a sudden, what was supposed to cancel a game, changed on Saturday. So you have to ask somebody else other than me. All I can tell you is, what we talked about.
Dabo, that being the case, this is Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports. That being the case, if you met the standard, what motivation would the Florida State administration have for what you say forfeiting the game?
I have no idea. I mean, they said what they said, and we said what we said. We obviously don't agree. That's why it was that was why it was very clearly stated that the medical groups did not agree. And so I trust our medical people here.
It's one thing not to agree. You've alleged that you basically said they wanted to forfeit the game. Could you go?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say they wanted to forfeit the game. Y'all don't listen. I didn't say they wanted to forfeit the game. I said it should be a forfeit. I didn't say they wanted to forfeit the game. Big difference. I said it should be a forfeit because we met the standard to play, and we even offered to play Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So in my opinion, we did everything we could. Our medical group was 1,000% on board with playing the game. So, and again, I felt like, I trust our people here. I have no reason not to. They've done an amazing job. So I didn't say I said it should be a forfeit. I didn't say they wanted to forfeit. Big difference.
Hey, coaches. WYS, real quick, is there, because of what happened this weekend, is there any thought to changing the standards or protocols in place based on how FSU reacted, or is everything going to still be the same for you guys?
All we can do is follow the guidelines like we've done. We've followed every guideline you can have. So, I just coach the team. I don't come up with the guidelines. We just follow what's been put in place, like we have all year.
Coach, it's Trevor Gross from CUTigers.com. You only have a handful of players that were around 4 years ago, the last time you lost a home game on that last second field goal by Pitt. How much pride do y'all take in having the longest active home win streak, especially this season with less fans in home games? Makes it a little bit harder to use that home field advantage.
Yeah, we honestly, we don't really spend a lot of time talking about. In fact, we hadn't talked about it once, all year as far as a home streak, whatever. We just take pride in when we're here. I mean, I think again, you have to. If you're going to be a great team, you got to be great from the inside out, and so you got to be a great home team before you become a great road team. And we just take a lot of pride anytime. We get the privilege of playing here at home, and it is different this year. I mean, it's not the same type of environment that we're accustomed to, but it's still been awesome. I mean, our fans have been great, done an awesome job, and we just take pride in winning, trying to find ways to win game, regardless of where we play. But certainly here at home, you want to do a great job in front of your home folks.
Hey, Dabo, David with ESPN. It being senior day, this is obviously a unique season because the NCAA has said anybody who wants to continue playing this season won't count against them. Have you had those conversations with your guys who would otherwise in a normal year be reaching their senior year? And do you expect any of them to use that extra year of eligibility to return?
I have, of course. I've had those conversations, and I do expect several of these guys to come back, and super excited about that. I mean, we've got some that I think have already made that decision that we they already know they're coming back, and they're not going to, come down the hill for like their last time. But we do have a few that still aren't 100%. They're kind of leaning to coming back, but we want to go ahead and honor them, kind of like we did Christian Wilkins, if you remember. He was a senior graduate already, and he wasn't 100% sure if he was coming back, and so we went ahead and honored him as a senior, and then as we all know, he decided to come back. So we got a few of those guys, 3 or 4 that I think are kind of leaning to maybe coming back, that we will go ahead and honor because they're just not 100%, but we'll see. So, again, that's another, one of those silver linings, that for some of these guys, I think will be an opportunity for them to even better position themselves for the next level.
Is there any names that you can share on that? And also, how do you guys plan to address sort of the roster crunch that will inevitably follow this, whether it's not next year, but the year after or beyond? Yeah,
well, this year there's no crunch this year because, none of these guys count against you. Any senior that comes back this year, none of them count against you. As far as moving forward, I think it's still what, right now, if whoever's on the roster this year, eventually they're going to have that choice. And if they come back, you will have to count them in the 85. Now, I do think, according to our compliance, that there's some conversation of not having to count those guys, until this roster, graduates out of here. But, we'll just have to cross those bridges when we come to it. But it's really, to me, it's more the 22 class that I think is probably the most affected right now, looking at our roster. But, I still think it was the right thing to do. And I'm not going to get into any names or any of that. Our guys, those are private conversations. And like I said, there's a few of them that y'all will probably figure out that have already decided they're coming back, and there's some others that just hadn't made that decision yet that I think will come back.
Dabo, this is Pete at AP. I mean, this could be Trevor's last home game. The bar for you guys was already raised pretty high. If it is, how has he raised the bar even higher for what you guys, for how you guys play and operate?
Well, he's just, Tosh Boyd was a great player here and left here with 32 wins, tied Rodney Williams, the winningest quarterback in school history, and laid a great foundation, as far as who we are offensively, explosive, dynamic quarterbacks, and certainly Deshaun, took us to that next level, and and then Trevor's come in and took us to our first undefeated season national championship. First 15-0 team, I should say. But he's just done an awesome job of you want to feel like you made the place better, and he's done that. And so the standard is set by all those guys as far as their love of preparation, their work ethic, their character, their will to win, their leadership, their belief in love of Clemson, all those things. So, that's pretty much the standard that we expect, from that position. And, I'm really, really excited about the young guys we got on the roster and guys we're recruiting.
Hey, Dabo, it's Josh from the Post-Courier. I know you're probably a little tired of the back and forth between you and Coach Norvell, but I was just wondering if you had any reaction to his comments from yesterday. I think he said that football coaches are not doctors. Just wonder if you had any reaction to that.
We're not doctors. I'm not trying to be a doctor. I just listen to the doctors, So, listen, I'm not really worried much about what they say down there in Tallahassee. That's for sure. I've been in this league 18 years. I've been the head coach here 12. All right. They've had 3 head coaches in 4 years. So decisions that they make, I'm not going to worry about advice from Tallahassee. I trust the people here, and I trust our doctors 100%.
Coaches, Trevor again. Skowski and Frank Ladson were not on the depth chart. Just want to confirm that will they definitely not play this week?
I can't not confirm that at this time.
Dabo, Pete again. How about some of those defensive guys who've been missing? Do you expect to have some of them back this weekend? Who might be coming back?
That's our hope. Yeah, we're as I said, last week we're trending in a good direction, and we're hopeful that we'll get some of those guys back.
Who do you think might be coming back? Would Tyler Davis be coming back, you think? Mike Jones?
Yeah, possible. Yeah, I think they're all, we've had some extended time off. So hopefully, we'll have a few of those guys back, but we'll see. They're all day to day.
Coach Doug Orso again, WIS. How would you describe just the mindset of this team right now after what just kind of transpired this past weekend and now turning the page? Just how would you describe them in practice and where their focus and approach and excitement is for this upcoming weekend?
I mean, they're great. It's just what we do. I mean, they had a great practice last night, and they had a good day Sunday, just treatment and all those type of things. But really good Monday practice, and we'll have a great Tuesday practice today. I mean, they're just excited about playing football and looking forward to a great matchup with Pitt. These guys, I mean, it's easy to turn on the tape and have a lot of respect for this bunch that's coming in here. They're tough, physical, but yeah, I mean, there's what happened last weekend was last weekend. These guys have moved on. Y'all keep asking questions, and I know I don't have to answer them, but I want to make sure that we're accurate and truthful.
Hey, Coach, it's David Hood with Tiger Net. Going back to the running game, Tony Elliott told us the time before last when we talked to him that maybe the offensive line issues were just more schematic and technical type things rather than guys not giving effort or it being a physical issue. Do you feel like this time off has allowed you to fix some of those issues, and do you expect a better effort out of them against a really tough Pitt defensive line this week?
I think our guys' effort's been tremendous. I think they've been incredibly physical. Some of it is schematic. We've had some certainly not been perfect. There's been some things there that we could have had a little more if we'd have maybe executed a little better, fundamentally, technically, whatever. But a lot of people, a lot of our rushing yards, are not being counted because they're coming off RPOs, and people don't really understand that. They just celebrate a 17-yard pass completion and think it's a great play. Is really only a great play because of what they're giving us. People have sold out to stop the run, and why would you not? You got the best running back in the country in the backfield, and coming into the season, some unproven wideouts, and then you have a freshman quarterback for 2 games. I would think that you would want to challenge that. Well, we've been able to accept and answer that challenge, and I think that bodes well for us down the stretch here. But again, regardless, Pitt is a team that they're going to always have more than you can block. So, kind of unfair to hold offensive linemen accountable for unblocked guys standing in the box. So fortunately we can throw the football, and we've scored more points than any team ever in the first 8 games ever. So we every year it's different, just depending on style of play. And last year we were a little more balanced because of how people had to play us a little more balanced. But people have chosen to play us and challenge us to throw the football, and we've been able to do that. But a lot of our yards, I think we're 150 yards a game or something like that rushing right now. But if you took the RPO yards, it would be a lot higher. But those things are triggered based on what happens post snap. And I'm thankful we got quarterbacks that can make those decisions and give us a chance to be successful. So we've been explosive. We've, like I said, scored a ton of points. We're throwing the ball as well as anybody in the country, and we're doing it without some of our best players outside. So really proud of what we've been able to do from that aspect. But I do think the fact that we've been able to demonstrate that, that's going to help us schematically in some of the run game things down the stretch here.
Dabo, Larry Williams with TigerIllustrated.com. The frequency of RPOs the last 2 games, was it about the same as usual with DJ in there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a massive plays, massive plays with DJ, but for the same reasons. Again, that's just how we're built. We're not going to just, again, hand the ball off and run into unblocked guys. That's not real smart as a coach, and that's why you have these things. So the quarterback can run it. We can hand the ball off. We can pass it, or the quarterback could keep it and run it. There's a lot of these things that are built in, and these quarterbacks, Street does an awesome job schooling them up, and our guys, you don't really ever know where the ball's going to go until it's snapped. But absolutely, had a bunch of big plays. The touchdown, not a touchdown, was an RPO to Cornell in overtime. I mean, that wasn't a pass call. That was could turn into a pass, and that's what happened. So, just again, that's football today. It's basically option football. A lot of things can happen post snap. That's why you got to have a really schooled up quarterback, and you got to be good at everywhere. I think you have to be able to throw the football, to be honest with you, to win today. I don't think you can win if you can't throw the football, not at the highest level. I don't think, to me, I'd be much more concerned if we couldn't throw the ball. We'll be just fine. Again, you can stop the run. You can stop the run, but you got to be committed to that, and you expose yourself in other areas. So, we've seen a lot of teams committed to stopping the run against us, as they should. I'd do the same thing. And fortunately, we've been able to win some matchups. And, Amari's had a great year. Cornell's had an awesome year. We've had, tight ends that have had great years. We've gotten the ball to we're not allowing people to take Travis Etienne. He's averaging more yards than he's ever averaged in his career. Averaging 140 yards a game, leads the ACC. And so, we're not allowing people to take him out of the game. If they're, we're gonna make sure we take advantage of the matchups, and we've done that all year long. Travis is, as I said last week, he's one of 4 guys in the last 20 years to do what he's done, rushing and receiving. The last guy to do it is Saquon Barkley. So, I mean, he's had an amazing year. We just had to do it a little differently, and that's okay. Name of the game is points. And, again, we've scored a bunch of points, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
You mentioned post-snap decisions. How hard is it with people, doing so much to stop Travis, to see those things like at the last sort of instant and be able to get the ball out, out on the perimeter when the numbers dictate that? And
I don't think it's that hard if you got good players, and we got good players, and this is what they've done. This is what happens in high school. This is what these kids have done, and it's what you're seeing at the NFL level now. Same thing. It's all trickled up these days. So I mean, I think if you're schooled up and you're well coached and you're skilled enough, I mean, it's you have to have experience and confidence in doing it. But if your eyes are on, you have to be very disciplined with your eyes, pre-snap and post-snap. But I mean, I don't think it's very hard for a guy like Trevor Lawrence or DJ. Those guys have, Streeter, like I said, has done an awesome job. They're well schooled. They're well prepared. They don't get fooled very often. And, as a result, we've been able to, now we don't always win a certain matchup, whether it be handing it off in the run game or throwing the ball. But what you want to do is give your guys the best chance to be successful. And, that's where football is today. That's why it's really hard on defenses, because if you got a really good quarterback that's equipped with the tools, it's hard to be right. So, this is what they've done. This is what Trevor did in high school as far as, ball handling, decision making, post snap. That's what all these kids do nowadays. That's why you better.
Considering how well
That's
DJ
why you better have a great quarterback if you're gonna win. You need these teams. If you win nowadays, you better have a quarterback.
It's David again. Speaking of those great quarterbacks and how well DJ played, have you guys considered giving him a series here and there during crunch time, just to kind of keep him in the flow of the game, or is it more at this point, because Trevor hasn't played in a month, just letting Trevor go out and take all of the swings that he can get?
I'm not going to get into anything like that schematically as far as, how we may manage or not manage a game at this point. Those are all to be determined type things.
Dabo, it's Phil Kornblut. First playoff ranking comes out tonight. Last thing the committee has seen of you guys was that Notre Dame game. Do you worry that being out of sight, out of mind, not having played in a while, that while other teams have played and won impressively, like say maybe Florida, committee might use that against you guys, not directly against you, but think about other teams that have been playing recently and playing well and winning, and they might scoot ahead of you?
I mean, we've played 8 games, so we've played more games than most teams are going to play all year. We've played more games than some of the leagues even have scheduled. So, I think that's their job, is to evaluate not just a week or two or last week, but evaluate the whole season. We've had one loss to the number 2 team in the country in double overtime at their place in an unbelievable game, an incredible game. So I think they got plenty to evaluate Clemson on. So, it don't matter. They can put us 1, they can put us wherever they want to put us, and it doesn't matter. What matters is, for us, is trying to get to the ACC championship. That's what matters. And to do that, we got to beat Pitt. So, it doesn't matter what they say tonight. What matters is how we play Saturday against Pitt. If we take care of business against Pitt, then we move on to the next one. And if we can stay on course, then hey, we control our destiny. We have the opportunity to go compete for the ACC, but we've got to earn our way there. And if we get there, the ACC champion is going to be in the playoff. Just that simple. So, not really worried about what happens tonight on at this point in the game. We got a lot of work to do to get there.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor again. You mentioned that Kenny Pickett ordinarily is a pretty able runner. He had the ankle taped up on Saturday, threw the ball 50 times, but it looked like he was moving around pretty well. How did you evaluate just how he extended plays and moved around in the pocket?
He's a problem. He does a great job. He's got a great feel. He's very well coached. You can see a lot of his drill work show up on game day, as far as how he manages the pocket, how he steps up, how he spins out, how he protects the ball, how he creates, he knows where line of scrimmage is. He knows how to move defenders. He's a really good player. And, again, I didn't see anything other than them score a bunch of points and put up a bunch of yards, with him back. So he's a good player.
It's David again. I have to ask, defensive players were saying that right after they got the news down in Tallahassee, Brent Venables already had them working on Pitt and watching film of Pitt, and they loved it. Is that, to you, part of that windshield mentality that this program has now? That as
absolutely.
soon as that came out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where we're all sitting in a big, huge tent with video screens, and we're going to be sitting there a while because we got to find pilots and all this stuff. And so we were already planning a meeting that morning anyway, film study stuff. So we just flip it over to the next opponent, and let's get on with it. So got a head start on these guys, for sure.
Dabo, this is Matt. I know Pitt had 16 players out last week. Have you heard anything from them about how they're kind of looking for this weekend as far as playing the game?
I have not. I haven't heard anything.
And I know Dan said there was a meeting scheduled for sometime this week with Florida State and the ACC to try to make up the game. Do you know if that has taken place or when that might be coming?
I have no idea. Yeah, that's in the windshield. That's in the rearview mirror. I'm focused on Tuesday practice today in Pitt. That's all. Dan can handle all that stuff.
Any other questions for Coach Swinney?
Coach, it's Trevor again. I'll ask another one. Virginia Tech has a really good front seven. how impressed were you with what Pitt's offensive line was able to do on Saturday with three freshmen starting in that game?
I mean, they did a great job. I mean, scored a bunch of points, had a bunch of yards. You know, their tempo is a problem. They do a great job. Like I said, they're going to be one of the fastest tempo teams that we've seen, if not the fastest. So they did a really nice job. Created some explosives and made some competitive plays, and got the run game going. You know, they really ran the ball well against them. So you know, did a heck of a job with some of those guys out. Same thing at receiver. You know, number 3, he wasn't able to play, and I think he's a great player. And 7, man, he went in there and had a career day.
Anything else for Coach?